Welcome to the Blue Belt tutorial on pattern Jung Gun, which is performed by the Blue Belt holder ready to go for the red stripe grading. Okay, so it starts in Moe Jumbi Sogi B, so feet together, same as Moe Jumbi Sogi A, but this time it's in front of your belt. So up here it was 30 centimeters in front of your nose, and down here it's 15 centimeters in front of your belt, okay? So your first move is to the left, okay? So you're going to take the weight on your right leg and get ready. So from underneath, you're going to straighten with the backward movement and drop to the left into L stance, reverse knife hand middle section block. You're going to show me a low section snap kick, read a book, walk forwards, rear foot stance, upward palm block which is flat, and make sure your back foot has twisted to the back, because a lot of people walk forwards and leave it there instead of shaping the back foot. Okay, and then repeat the other way. So come back to the center, straighten with a backward movement and drop into a middle section reverse knife hand block. Low section snap kick, read a book, walk forwards rear foot stance while shaping the back foot. And again, this is flat. Look to the front, pull the leg back halfway in front of the other leg, hold your eggs and drop into a knife hand guarding block to the front. Okay, when you're changing stances, it's always the front foot that slips. So pull in halfway back as you set up the reaction force. Step out into a walking stance with an upward elbow strike, passing the point of your jaw. Okay, walk forwards and repeat. So take the weight, hold your eggs, straighten and drop. Knife and guarding block. Again, pull back whilst you set up the reaction force and slip your front foot into walking stance whilst performing an upward elbow strike. Again, past the jaw line. You're going to walk forwards now into a twin vertical twin punch. So as you walk forwards, straighten and roll your hands up to your ears, step forwards into a walking stance, twin vertical punch. Then you're going to walk forwards and show a twin upset punch. So this time you do the opposite. You walk into your hands as you pull them back to your ears, straighten as you circle them around, and step forwards into a twin upset punch. Okay, so from here you're going to step turn and you're going to show me an X fist rising block. So you step your front foot onto the central line with the ball of the foot, bring this foot into the center as you cross your hands, step out with your left foot into walking stance, X fist rising block, higher than your eyes. Pull back a little bit. You don't need to do much with your hands because they're already in position with your left hand underneath. Straighten with the backward movement and show me a back fist side strike, high section to the temple. So from here, you're going to pretend someone's grabbed your wrist and you're going to turn your thumb in a little bit and then counterclockwise until your fist is facing down, okay? I've heard lots of variations on this. When you step out, bring it down to your knee, which is how I teach my juniors because I want them to get the technique right. But the rule is until your hand is flat. Okay, so it's a high section back fist side strike. I turn my thumb in a little bit. As I slip out into walking stance, turn it counterclockwise until it's flat, and then perform a high section punch in fast motion. High section punch in fast motion. Step your left leg in, take the weight from underneath, straighten with the backward movement, L stance, high section back fist side strike. So again, I'll drop my thumb a little bit, then turn it counterclockwise as I slip out into walking stance and stop when my hand is flat, and then perform a fast high section punch. From there, we're going to the back now. So we're going to step our right leg in and our left leg out to the back, high section dumaki. Slip the front foot back halfway, pointing the right hand where we're going to set up the reaction force, and drop into L stance side punch. From there, I'm going to do a side piercing kick to the back and land in dumaki. So from here, side piercing kick, land in dumaki. And repeat. Pull back, set up the reaction force with your left hand, and drop into L stance side punch with your right hand. I'm going to repeat the side piercing kick, but after the second side piercing kick, I'm going to land in a forearm guarding block instead of dumaki. Okay, so coming forwards, side piercing kick, and land in a forearm guarding block. From there, I'm going to pull back halfway and get ready by dropping my front hand below my belt, straight in front of me, and my right hand higher than my head, and I'm going to glide my left leg forwards into low stance. I'm going to perform a right pressing block. And it's done in slow motion. Okay? From there, I'm going to walk forwards and repeat. So I'm going to hold my eggs, straighten and drop into L stance guarding block. I'm going to pull back halfway and drop my right hand below my belt and my left hand higher than my head, straight in front of me, and then glide my right leg out into low stance and perform a left hand pressing block. Done in slow motion. I'm going to pull my left leg into my right leg and perform a slow angle punch. And an angle punch is chest line, okay? So I'll just face you a second. This is a turning punch, which is center line. This is an angle punch, which is chest line. And this is a crescent punch, which is face, which we do much later on. Okay, so it's left leg in, slow angle punch, chest line. Then I want you to drop your right hand to your left hip and put your left hand on top, so you're knuckle to knuckle. I've seen variations of this, but this is how I teach my students. So right hand down to left hip with your left hand on top, and I pull my left hand back a little bit, stepping my right leg out into fixed stance with a U-shaped block. With my elbow jarred into my hip, I'm blocking with my arc hand, this hand over my eye level so I can't see the camera, and it's one directly above the other, parallel, like I'm blocking an old-fashioned rifle, which I can take off and then strike back, or it could be blocking a strike with a knife. Now I'm going to step my right leg into my left leg and drop my top hand underneath my right hand. Now I'm going to pull my right hand back a little bit, step my left leg out into fixed stance and U-shaped block again. Again, jarring my elbow into my hip, this hand parallel above in a fixed stance. Okay, so that's the end of the pattern. So my left leg stepped out, so my left leg returns, okay, to more Jumbi Sogi B, closed ready stance B. Okay, so that concludes your tutorial for pattern Jung Gun. Okay, so having just watched the video back on Jung Gun, I just want to show you again the section going towards the back, but facing the camera to make it a little bit easier for you. Okay, so you've just gone from this position with the back fist high strike, side strike to the back, turn your hand clockwise down till it's flat, and then a fast high section punch. So the movement to the back was right leg all the way into left leg, hold your eggs from the corner and step your left leg out, high section Dumaki to the back. You're going to pull your front foot back as you set up the reaction force with your right hand, left hand onto your belt and slip into a side fist strike to the back. Okay, then you're going to perform a side piercing kick with the sword edge. So as you come through, show me a side piercing kick and then land in high section Dumaki again. Pulling back, setting up the reaction force with your left hand and dropping into fixed stance, dropping into L stance with the side punch again. And then you repeat, but again, after the second side piercing kick, you land in a guarding block, not Dumaki. So as you're coming forwards with the piercing kick, land in a guarding block, okay? So I'm just going to adjust my feet for the camera. So after the second side piercing kick, you've landed in a guarding block. You pull back halfway as you drop your front hand and raise your back hand. Now I have a rule that their front hand's got to be lower than the belt and the back hand higher than their head. And then they glide the front foot forwards into low stance and perform a right hand pressing block. Okay, so this hand is pretty much flat and straight nearly, and this hand is pushing slightly away and in line with my center, and this one's in line with my shoulder. Okay, so then they start quite a long way away, pass quite close together, and then finish quite close together. So then I repeat, so walk forwards and guard again. Ready, pull back, drop your front hand below your waist, your belt in front of you, and your back hand higher than your head. And again, glide out for 3 or 4 seconds to 3 into a left palm pressing block, turning it slightly out and in line with your center. And this is an upward palm block in line with your shoulder, okay? So both those are in slow motion. Then you're going to pull your left leg in, performing an angle punch in slow motion again, 3 to 4 seconds, making sure your angle punch is 90 degrees here and 90 degrees to your body and in line with your chest or the badge on your suit, okay? Then we dropped my right hand down to my left hip and put my left hand on top. Pulled my left hand a little bit and stepped out with my right leg to perform a U-shaped block. And then I stepped together again, dropping my left hand underneath, pulling my top hand back a little bit and stepping out into U-shaped block. Okay, so if you watch both videos back, and then you can switch to this video to concentrate on the section to the back, and then hopefully you can piece it all together. So that really does end your tutorial for the blue belt Jung Gun.